I am Indiana Froskurinn Black. I work as a League of Legends color commentator for Riot's English broadcast.
EDG, undeniably the most dominant team the LPL has ever created, but internationally starting to pick up the trend of choking.
I actually never really wanted to be a caster. It actually kind of just happened out of happenstance. I always knew that I wanted to do something in the gaming industry, and obviously I had a passion for League of Legends, particularly the Chinese scene. But I started as a content creator. The theory of just talking about a game, yes, absolutely love it. The idea of being a personality, being a persona, getting in front of a camera, and front-facing to the community, not really my cup of tea. My reputation early was arrogant, condescending, loudmouth, abrasive, brash. I mean, you can use any other obtuse adjective that you want to throw on it, but I was pretty much like sandpaper. My big debut came on Summoning Insight with Thorin and Monte Cristo to talk about the Chinese scene because we were just about to go into a world championship. And I was very frustrated that, all of the Western media was talking about, Europe this and North America that, and, everyone has to pay respect to Korea, like you're forced to, but no one was talking about China when they had been such a competitive stronghold in the international scene for so long. And so kind of coming into that, I was like, had a chip on my shoulder before it started, I think. Shoutcasting, one of the most important tools that you can learn is how to take criticism and how to take critique, because it's the best way that you're going to get good, is you have to take in as much feedback as possible and then retro on it as quickly as possible. And to cut off the community, it's dumb. Like if you can't go to Reddit, if you can't go through the social media channels and get that feedback, you're going to slow yourself down in terms of your development. That said, you need to be really good at building yourself back up. And that's something that I was really, really poor at. And so my relationship with the community was really volatile and very toxic because it was just this cycle of constantly being torn down. Like I'm being torn down out here, but I'm also doing that internally. Persona and brand is probably the most expensive currency that you have in this community. And I definitely did a lot of growth. There is internal change of, I still think the same way that I do, but reframing and using the correct word choice to communicate effectively, expanding your vocabulary there so it's not as off-putting, because it's fine to have strong, bold opinions as long as you support what your opinions are and you set them and you frame them in the proper way. Internally, I've been told to model myself after Deficio. I think Deficio definitely carries the swagger and the mold of the elite top tier caster, especially for an analyst. My personal favorite casters though, and who I really look up to, are Monte Cristo and Jat in particular, as well as Quickshot. Even though Quickshot's not a color caster, he's a play-by-play caster, he excels in what I really struggle with, which is diction and vocabulary choice. Jat is a very narrative-focused caster. He knows exactly what to say and what storyline to carry, especially high-level narrative. It's what I really aspire to. And I think Monte Cristo he is probably the strongest brand or most cohesive brand in League of Legends. And so I really respect kind of the empire that he built and how he carries himself. If I couldn't cast China, I would actually like to go to Europe. It's so funny because if you look at the different regions, North America, that's where all the toys are. That's where the biggest production is. You can really push the boundaries in terms of how you're telling these stories or how you're telling this analysis with all of their tools. But if you go to Europe, that's where all the color casters, they get in the hyperbolic time chamber with Crepo and Deficio, and they just go to the grind. And so not only would I like to be more invested in the European scene just because they're so vastly different than the Chinese scene, and which region you cast really does create different tendencies. So I just think getting that opposite end of the spectrum would really help round out my knowledge as a caster, as well as getting to brush shoulders with the greats like Crepo, like Deficio over there. I probably won't ever cast a world final. I'm nowhere close to the Deficios, the Jats. There's just too many people in front of me. I have to take down Crepo, take down Spawn, and I'll try to get as close as I can and make the most perfect iteration of Froskurinn as a caster. But my goals have changed from casting a world championship final to making the best version of myself and making a very unique, carved out identity. If you watch a cast of Froskurinn, I want it to be that you're going to get the best narrative and learn the most about the players. When I cast, I want it to be that when you walk away from the game, you don't think, wow, Froskurinn is a great caster. You think, wow, that player is amazing.